Hello, and welcome to Joint Operations. The T-84 Oplot is rolling onto the battlefield in Ukraine, and with only a few copies in existence, every tank is crucial. These powerful machines may only make up one tank platoon, but they're ready to defend their country with all their might. Let's dive deeper into this very elusive and yet very important main battle tank that is playing a significant part in the current conflict: technological origins. Did you know that the T-84 tank has some pretty interesting origins? It all started back in 1995 when the KMDB, Kiev Machine Building Design Bureau, created a welded turret to replace the cast turrets that were no longer being made in Ukraine. This new turret, called the OB-478BK, was used on a T-80UD tank and completed in 1995. By 1999, Ukraine had even exported 175 of these tanks to Pakistan. But the T-84's story doesn't end there. The OB-478D was tested with a fancy ANET fire control system and a Baran night sight, and there were even OB-478DU and OB-478DU2 prototypes. The T-84M prototype made its debut at the International Defense Exhibition in 1999, and the Birch 478B object tank inspired the T-84 Oplot, which was later sold to Turkey. And if all that wasn't enough, the T-84 even got an upgrade with a 120mm gun that can fire NATO ammunition, becoming the T-84-120 yet again. The Ukrainian government eventually purchased 10 T-84Ms from 2001 to 2003, but when they couldn't afford to pay for them, they had to sell 4 of them to the United States, which would be later used for field testing. Specifications and armament. The T-84 is a tank to be reckoned with, boasting an impressive power-to-weight ratio of 26 horsepower per ton. And that's not all. This tank is built to handle hot climates, with an air-conditioned crew cabin and a temperature range of 40 to 55 degrees Celsius. The T-84's BM Oplot version is an evolution of the previous T-84 Oplot, with a standard layout featuring a driver's compartment at the front, a fighting compartment in the middle, and an engine at the back. The 3-man crew can access their positions through single-piece hatches. The driver's hatch is in the center, while the commander's and gunner's hatches are on the right and left, respectively. With a length of 9.7 meters, including the gun, a width of 3.5 meters, and a height of 2.8 meters, the T-84 is a formidable presence on the battlefield. And at a combat weight of 51 tons, it's no lightweight either. The T-84 Oplot is packing some serious firepower with a smoothbore 125mm KBA-3 cannon, a coaxial KT-7.62 machine gun, and an anti-aircraft KT-12.7 machine gun. But that's not all. This tank also has a loading system that can feed the main gun with a variety of ammunition, including high-explosive fragmentation rounds, armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot penetrators, and high-explosive anti-tank rounds. And if that wasn't enough, the Oplot can also fire a laser-guided anti-tank missile at armored land vehicles and helicopters within a range of 5,000 meters. This missile can even be fired while the tank is moving against moving targets, and its tandem charge warhead is designed to defeat targets with explosive reactive armor, ERA, and advanced spaced armor. But the Oplot doesn't just rely on its main gun, it also carries a whopping 46 rounds of ammo for the main gun, 28 of which are loaded into the automatic loader. And if that runs out, there's always the 1,250 rounds for the KT-7.62 machine gun, 450 rounds for the KT-12.7 machine gun, and 450 rounds for the AKS assault rifle. Comparison. The T-84 is a formidable main battle tank that can hold its own against the best improved versions and variants of the T-72, T-80, and T-90, all of which are highly regarded tanks in their own right. Despite its impressive capabilities, the T-84's main issue is that Ukraine's industrial capacity has collapsed, making it difficult for them to produce and sell large quantities of these tanks. In fact, Ukraine had intended to sell the T-84 to Thailand, but ultimately only provided about 30 tanks, leading Thailand to turn to China for additional armor forces. Despite this setback, the T-84 still ranks among the top 20 main battle tanks in the world. It's worth noting that the T-84 is not directly analogous to Russia's T-14 Armata, which is considered by some to be the world's only true fourth-generation main battle tank. However, this doesn't necessarily make the T-14 infinitely more capable. The T-84 is still a highly capable tank in its own right. There is also a variant of the T-84 called the T-84 Oplot P, which was another attempt by Ukraine to enter the export market. It's possible that a few of these tanks were used in the recent conflict in Ukraine and were sometimes mistaken for Russian T-90s due to their hexagonal welded turrets. Crews from NATO and non-NATO partners participate in defensive, offensive, mounted, and dismounted operations. Platoons rotate through 12 events, totaling 1,500 points. Germany won the first challenge in 2016. Austria won the 2017 challenge, with Germany and the United States finishing second and third respectively. The third annual competition held from June 3rd to June 8th, 2018, and Ukraine finished 8th with the T-84 Oplot, scoring 950 points. Current military service. The T-84 MBT is a popular choice for countries looking for a powerful tank to add to their arsenal. It's currently used by both Ukraine and Pakistan, and in 2014, Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko announced plans to increase production of the new Oplot tanks. In fact, back in 2000, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry ordered 10 new T-84 series main battle tanks, and in 1999, the final delivery of T-80 UD tanks to Pakistan included many features of the T-84, like a new all-welded turret and other modifications to give them an enhanced T-84 configuration. The limited number of T-84s that exist in the Ukrainian Armor Corps are currently seeing heavy military service in eastern and southern Ukraine. It is still difficult at this time to determine the tank's successes against Russian counterparts. In the end, when the goal is to scrape up as many tanks as possible, the T-84 is better than nothing. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and liking this video. Feel free to leave a comment down below too.